Good evening. These are the stories making the headlines in the Hot 7 Nightly News.
A mother of two is dead. Her boyfriend narrowly escaped with his life. He recounts the harrowing ordeal. The opposition makes a sweeping indictment on the government on the issue of tackling the root causes of crime. And the Transport Minister clarifies the hold-up with expected rebates to bus drivers amid calls for the ministry to pay up before Christmas. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
It is Tuesday, the 11th of December 2018. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I am Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A mother of two is dead. Her boyfriend is nursing gunshot wounds. Assailants opened fire on their vehicle in Mondador. The injured boyfriend, Clint Gillard, who lived to tell the story of the night of Monday, 10th December, spoke to Hot 7 News about the harrowing ordeal. Solange Alfred begins our reporting.
Survivor of a recent shooting, Clint Gillard, recounts the events that took place around 9:40 p.m. at Mondador on the night of Monday 10th December 2018. The victim spoke out after coming under attack by armed assailants, whose bullets riddled both his body and that of his girlfriend, Nadia Wells. According to Gillard, he was on his way to run an errand when assailants opened fire on his vehicle.
I came from and picked up my girlfriend at work. I was going to deliver a message from my father. And in swinging up Mondador, when I reached near Wilton's yard, shot was fired at my vehicle. When I realized I got shot, I just continued driving. And when I reached at the other corner, another assailant fired more shots at me. So I just continued driving.
Gillard explained that after the second round of fire, he drove his car to a safe area and called for help. It was then that he realized that his girlfriend was unresponsive.
When I reached to the spot by the guy, I saw like my girlfriend dead, like she unresponsive.
What did you do when you noticed that she got shot too?
Well, I tried to reach her destination. Like I know I see for her to call somebody, to call the ambulance, and then they try and transport me to the hospital. Since she was unresponsive, we didn't shift her, you understand? Wait for the ambulance to come and collect her.
Police statements reveal that on Tuesday, December 11th, 2018, Nadia Wells succumbed to her wounds. The mother of two leaves behind children ages 5 and 9. Wells is the 42nd homicide victim of 2018. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. Prime Minister Alan Chasney is sending a strong message to criminal elements, stating that their time is up. The Prime Minister believes that the court system is greatly failing citizens, as he called for tougher processes to address criminal matters. Chasney also touted the improvements to come for the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, which he believes will assist in bringing back a sense of law and order to the island. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
In the wake of a sharp rise in crime on the island, Prime Minister Alan Chasney has put the persons partaking in criminal activity on notice, indicating to them that their days of effecting terror in society are numbered. The Prime Minister said the current crime situation is a blight that is affecting everyone in the region.
The fact is, throughout the Caribbean, we've all seen a huge spike in crime. And I think what it calls for is a more collective effort. Do not think for one moment that criminals respect borders. You know, somebody who is in another island isn't going to say, well, I'm not going to go to another island and commit crime. And certainly in terms of improving our investigative arm, we're dealing with a lot of outside forces. I think that a lot of our gangs have changed to become more economical, not just territorial. And so the amount of money that's coming in terms of drugs and the amount of arms that are coming in is something that we all have to be able to deal with. I have to say that, you know, I'm disappointed that we've not been successful as yet, and I take responsibility for it, to convince the judicial system to take the same level of no tolerance. You know, we've had examples of an individual recently that was out on bail for attempted homicide, got caught with arms and ammunition and was given bail again. I mean, it's very frustrating to the policemen, and I think it's very discouraging to all of us.
Prime Minister Chasney said his cabinet has been working closely with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force and that the prospect of an increased conviction rate is looking promising.
With the idea of freeing up the movement of people even more, we need a regional police force. But here domestically, we've had some very good meetings with the police brass in terms of initiatives that they've been working on. We've seen a greater an improvement in the conviction rate or the charging rate, meaning of the murders that we've had or the homicides that we've had this year, 43% of them people have been charged and are waiting for their day in court.
With that said, the Prime Minister has indicated that the justice system in St. Lucia is in need of serious repair and attention. All is not lost, however, as according to the island's leader, steps are being taken to make improvements as we speak.
We have to get to a level of where we're almost getting 80 or 90% conviction. People must know that crime does not pay. I'm very glad that the government took the initiative of putting in a new communication systems for the policemen. As I said, policemen are running around here using their cell phone to communicate back to headquarters. The new communication system is physically here and will be implemented by the end of this year. The same thing for the CCT cameras. So the first set of CCT cameras have arrived, will be implemented with the new command center, and we will have cameras all the way from Groselet down to Castries. And then phase 2 now is to continue to growing that effort. So I think that we're going to make the policemen substantially more effective.
For the year so far, the island has recorded 42 homicides, including 1 police killing. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. Every social intervention that was put in place by the SLP is of no consequence to the Prime Minister. It's a damning assessment by opposition MP Alva Baptiste toward Alan Chasney, as he claims the Prime Minister is not committed to addressing the root problems of crime and has therefore failed miserably at delivering on the promise he made to the electorate to effectively address crime.
Social interventions are paramount in addressing the issue of crime. That is the viewpoint of the Member of Parliament for Labrie, Alva Baptiste. It is based on this premise that he says the current government does not have a handle on crime as it promised it would.
When the United Workers' Party was in opposition, the current Prime Minister, who was the leader of the party at the time, said that he will deal with it. Kenny Anthony cannot, the Labour Party cannot, then he will stop crime. And obviously, we know that it is not within his sphere of competence to deal with the matter. He is not even committed to addressing the root causes of the problems in the country. So there is that misguided attachment to some horse race track. And that's all that matters. Education is of no consequence. Healthcare is of no consequence. Nice program of no consequence. Every social intervention that was put in place by the St. Lucia Labour Party to address our social needs is of no consequence to the current Prime Minister.
Baptiste says with a lack of commitment to social programs, crime will fester. He has challenged the Prime Minister to do better to address the issues confronting citizens.
He cannot do it. There is no commitment to doing it. Obviously, the Prime Minister, like I said, is a member of the China Horse Club. So it's time that he take up his responsibilities as Prime Minister of the country to deal with the pressing but legitimate needs of the people of St. Lucia.
Baptiste says the Labour Party is not in the habit of politicizing crime because there are crimes that no government can control. But he says in areas where government can make a difference, nothing is being done.
The island's Gender Relations Minister, Dr. Gail Rigobert, is calling on all agencies, both in and out of government, to come together to tackle the continuing problem of gender-based violence. Following Monday night's homicide where a woman was killed, Dr. Rigobert says this is a scourge which her agency cannot handle alone. Rochelle Gonzalez tells us more.
The island's Gender Relations Minister has expressed dread over the thought of society becoming numb towards the issue of gender-based violence. Dr. Gail Rigobert spoke to members of the press in relation to Monday night's killing of a woman named Nadia Wells at Mondador. Physical violence, she said, is the final manifestation of a whole host of issues that precede the act, and that it takes a holistic review of the situation. The minister said the matter must be reviewed by all agencies in society and not just the known government agencies.
I think that we need to re-energize, to reintroduce to breathe new meaning into the we approach to curing community ills. We can do it together. No one agency has the wherewithal to address the multifacetedness of crime. It must call for a joint and collective effort if it is we are serious about addressing crime. Whereas when I was in opposition, I could speak of hurt, anger, and outrage. As the policymaker, my role is to ensure that we have tighter laws, more relevant laws, and that the agencies involved are au courant with the new and emerging protocols and processes regarding gender-based violence in particular. For that reason, my office has been working very closely with the Attorney General's office and other sister agencies to ensure that the Domestic Violence Act is brought to the House for its final processing.
She said during her 8-year career in government, she has seen greater efforts to address the matter.
It was just yesterday we ended a program of activities for the 16 days of the observance of highlighting the horrors of gender-based violence. And it was a call to action by everyone. So whether it is that a woman is the victim or a man is the victim, we should not at all get into a state of numbness where we're becoming indifferent. No, and that's a dangerous thought process. I believe and I'm confident in saying that the meetings that I have been party to, especially most recently, there is a concerted and renewed effort among the agencies responsible for upholding law and order to intervene and to do so by not focusing exclusively on punitive measures.
Dr. Rigobert also gave an update of the current status of the Human Services Department since the resignation of former Director Elizabeth Lewis.
That entity is very well outfitted with persons with tremendous capacity, talent, skill, and experience. And I would not want to think that the effective work that they've been doing really leans on the shoulders of any one individual, and that there would have been sufficient knowledge sharing within that unit so that the good work can continue.
It is currently unclear whether Lewis has been replaced as Human Services Director or not. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Still to come. A teen who was reported missing is found. The Dennery North MP and his constituents say they're ready to go head-to-head with Wasco after years of frustration. And the Transport Minister clarifies the hold-up with expected rebates to bus drivers amid calls for the ministry to pay up before Christmas. Stay with us.